Good afternoon, everyone. My name is KLM1187. I am joined here by my good pal, Mr. Cab55. Mr. Cab, how are you doing?
Oh, happy Saturday, everybody. I'm excited. We've got a race.
Yeah, and it should be a good one here. We have the finals of Speedgaming Live 2024's Mega Man All Stages tournament here between the 1 seed Endy and the 2 seed Working. The top 2 runners in this tournament going head-to-head here in a best-of-3 matchup. Yeah, it should be an amazing one. Their PBs are only 2 seconds apart. NDA, I believe, is an 18:22 and Working has an 18:24. Both have had really strong performances in the tournament up until this point. Yeah, I guess it could go either way. I mean, Endy, I guess, would be the de facto favorite as he does have the experience edge, but Working has the more recent experience. So yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Cab? You got any?
No, you pretty much nailed it, right? Working is the new kid on the block on some level. I mean, I think he's been streaming for 3 or 4 years at this point. That shows how long we've been around.
Yeah.
But Endy is sort of like the legendary champion. All due respect to Cool Kid, but Endy is like really high up in the leaderboards for a very long time, getting close to 10 years at this point. So, like you said, Working is the upstart, Endy is the veteran, but their PBs are only 2 seconds apart.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, and Working has really come on like really fast too. I mean, his any game that he's picked up has either a top time or the top time in. So yeah, he's a very impressive runner for sure.
Yeah, I really kind of know Working more through Rockman and Forte, where he and Ahmad just had this back and forth, bringing the record there down over a minute. Endy, I feel like Endy is largely Mega Man 1 in my head, not really any other Mega Man games. I mean,
He actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, has a pretty good time in Mega Man 2 as well.
I feel like everybody has a good time in Mega Man 2, which isn't to say like the good times aren't really, really good.
And also, if I remember correctly, I think for a little bit he picked up Mega Man 3. I don't think he stuck with it for too long, but Endy's one of the, I mean, outside of classic Mega Man, I mean, any NES game that Endy has touched as either has at some point has held the record in or still does. I mean, he's just one of the best to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, NES Batman is high on that list here. We're going up through Cutman stage, vertical stage, Buster only. Not really much beyond what you're seeing. So I feel like we just keep talking about
just how awesome these guys are. Yeah. Yeah.
I know Working has played things beyond those 2 Mega Man games. I'm pretty sure I've seen some Mega Man. I want to say I've seen Mega Man X action somewhere on this channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I mean, we can't say enough good things about both of these runners, honestly. So we're in for a real treat here. We'll see their little ladder warp action there. Wrap, I mean, I should say. The NES is a funny thing where the top of the screen kind of almost connects to the bottom of the screen, so you're able to grab that bottom ladder from the top of the screen. We'll see that again a little later as well. But yeah, coming into the Cutman fight, as Mr. Cap said earlier, that will be a Buster only fight, but it's a pretty straightforward fight. You just kind of do this little dance with Cutman here. You can, if you have the health, you can take a couple damage boosts to just make sure you get those hits in as soon as possible. As we see with Working there, and
Working with the solid fight. You know, our streams are still a little out of sync. Or I'm starting to get used to the speed gaming controls on this side. So what that does mean is we get to watch them one after the other. So like KLM is saying, really simple fight. Just land the Buster shots, get through it. Cutman being one of the robot masters in this game that does take extra damage from the Buster. What's a charge shot? Never heard of that. So good job to both runners there. Into the super vertical stage of Elecman.
Yeah, this is completely vertical. I mean, I guess it's something that they kind of went away with as the later games came out in the NES, as far as they became more like, you know, left to right stages versus down to like, you know, up and down. I kind of miss them. I kind of like the vertical stages. I think it just adds a different feel to it. Really kind of you know, accentuates the actual platforming aspect of the Mega Man game. here we see on working screen, we got the everyone's favorite Yoku blocks. It was such a great idea in the first game that they used them in literally every other game afterwards, and everyone loves them. I mean, I've never heard of bad things said about them. Have you? So, anyways, we're gonna see working and just continue to traverse these stages. We saw Andy do the corner jump there. That corner jump is really tough. I can't state how easy it looks, but how hard it is to get, especially first try. But we're gonna see working here coming up to the big trick in this stage, which is the early magnet beam grab. So basically, what we're gonna do is you have to push shooting down on the same frame to clip into the ladder, get yourself out of bounds. You're gonna wrap around the screen. You gotta sneak in there to grab the magnet beam, and then exit the wall, ideally at the top of the screen, but working leaving that screen at 407 is actually really good.
I feel like if you get out of that wall, it's good.
And you see Andy
There
with
you
the top
go.
exit there, yeah, and leaves the screen at about 404. It was great.
You pressured Endy into it.
Yeah. You do have to be the dangerous part about that grab. I feel like I can talk about it now, since they both passed it.
I know, right?
Is if you go too far into that little block there where the magnet beam is, and you get into that little room, I guess, if you will, you're basically stuck there, and there's no way out if you don't have Gutsman weapon. So it's a soft lock, so you have to reset. There's no other alternative. Or you could just leave your NES on for the remainder of time, and you would just be stuck there forever. So. We see working there with the elect beam climb. We'll see how Andy does as well. Very, I mean, we saw like how kind of intricate that magnet beam grab was, but I personally think that this is the hardest trick in the stage here.
Is he doing select jumps through the?
Yeah, it looks like yeah.
Oh my god!
He tripped up on that first beam and gonna reset the room there. But yeah, that was interesting. That was I think just something like that just goes to show just his experience with the game for Endy is just like being able to adapt like to that difficult of a screen just to do like something like that is I mean, as a runner of this game, is just mind blowing to me.
Yeah, I mean that's part of like race experience. Though, is you start talking about people's ability to ad lib a lot.
Yeah.
It's not just about having the top time. It's about being able to work with weird setups. Because there's too many people that like they'll start resetting as soon as something goes wrong, and they're just new enough to the game. Even if they don't reset all the time, they've only been playing the game 5 years, and he's been playing the game 10 years.
Right.
And it's like that's 5 more years of things that have gone horribly wrong that he's had to recover from.
Yeah, it's always like the thing that intrigues me about like races and stuff like and tournaments, stuff like that the most is just that ability to, finish a run and work through any like mistakes or weird things that happen. Because like we see it a lot. Like a lot of runners will have like a really top time, but they only do like they reset until they get that top time. So if you've never done like no reset runs or performed in like a thing like this before, if a mistake happens, it might kind of trip you up a little bit. So yeah, that experience goes a long way. And I guess before we could even mention it, both runners are already through Iceman stage. So that was really amazing. Great stage from both of them there.
A couple of corridor zips out of Endy there. Both of them just crushing a lot of the early zips, getting past the Yoku block sections with those top of the screen zips with magnet beam.
Yeah, and they both got the zip over the big pond in the beginning there too. I mean, just some nice ice from both of them there. That was wow. So we're gonna come in next to Fireman stage. Fireman. So with the reason why we go the magnet beam as early as it is because as you can see, it is the utility in this game. Not only for platforming purposes, as you can see there, to skip those ladders, but also it's our main tool to use to zip through a lot of the stages. Which all these magnet beam placements that these runners are doing to zip through these stages, they're all pixel perfect placements. So it's like very, very precise, very accurate. I mean, there's zero room for error here. So
yeah, Fireman stage especially just has some like really weird setups.
Yeah, so this one coming up
yeah.
on working screen here. Nice setup there. This trick is very precise, yeah, because not only do you have to get your beams in the perfect pixel placement, but you have to jump into the next screen at the correct placement as well. If you don't, you'll get what's called the bad pixel, and the zip actually won't work, and you'll end up taking a death. So both of these running, I mean, I can't say it. I mean, they just killed it, both of them. No, it's like just zero errors whatsoever. This is been quite the race. I know we're a little desynced on the restream here, but I mean, both these runners are like, I mean,
right, they're neck and
neck, yeah.
And if either one makes a mistake, the other one's going to pounce on it. Working, grabbing the orb at 8:44 for those keeping score at home, and I see you out there in chat, and I know you are.
Yeah, so let's see.
And so Working's got roughly a second on Endy. 1 second separates them at the orb grab of Fireman stage.
Yeah, we got Max in chat there. Called it before we could. Yeah.
And Endy getting a few more points this time though.
Yeah, there is a weird thing. The one weird sense of RNG is like the amount of points that you get here in the beginning of the stage. You want to see less points because the more points you have, the more time it takes to count down at the end. I mean, we're talking like I believe it's just like frames at that point. But you know, again, when you're running this game at the top level, and especially you know two runners, as you can see, like 1 second apart, those frames could make a big difference at the end. So. I actually heard I heard Endy talking about this before the race started in his stream, that he wasn't sure if he was going to use magnet. So we saw Working use magnet beam to get around that Sniper Joe there. And he was like, I don't know if I want to use magnet beam or ice. Ice is definitely the safer way. It's a little bit slower because you get an extra menu here, but definitely way safer because that Sniper Joe enemy can give you a real kind of give you the business there. So I think with that, I mean, Working just...
Working
playing amazing. I mean, I don't
playing
know.
like what video game? Why should I be worried about this?
Yeah. Endy with a nice quick setup there for the bomb zip. This bomb zip is very particular too. I think it's one of the bigger zips in the game, but you have to make sure that you're facing left when you initiate the zip, and also you have to push right when you get to the door to enter the door, otherwise you zip off the screen and you die. So, I guess that's worth to mention now too is there's a funny thing in this game. This game is unique where it has a separate pause button to the menu button, so you can use the pause button there to basically how to quick kill these enemies. So you get the weapon into their hitbox and you pause and unpause at the correct time. So when the game's paused, the iframes of the enemy, the bosses, wear off. So you could just pause and unpause while that weapon's in their hitbox to quickly kill them.
About 6 seconds separating them now from my reckoning. Some of that's definitely the score, and I mean, Endy again getting 100,000 points for this stage. Just I want to say losing time on that. I don't know what Working score is, but certainly 100,000 is the biggest, so he's not gaining any time.
Yeah, right. And Working just with a flawless gut stage, you get that early zip around in the first section, and then just let's see if he gets in these corridor zips too. Got one. Got both of them.
Very nice.
The bomb fight is so. Oh, I'm not sure what happened to Endy there. I had a little.
Did he get like screen wrapped into the abyss?
No, I think just maybe I don't know. I guess we'll have to ask about that after. It looks like there maybe had too many beams on the screen, so maybe the lag kind of tripped him up a little bit. I'm not really sure. But that's going to be an unfortunate death there, and you know the way Working's playing right now, you know, it's this might be.
Well, it's certainly Working's race to lose at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, just with that alone.
Ooh, we're gonna see
Endy in chat even saying interesting death.
Yeah, I'm curious to talk to him about that afterwards because I'm not quite sure. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before.
With the screen wraps and everything else off the top of the screen gets sometimes some weird things happen up there.
Yeah,
that's also why this entire category is in fact named all stages and not just any percent, because you can do some funny things to not clear all stages.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Endy perhaps the recipient of a quirk of execution. It's like. It's hard to even control that So it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
Working out there, that's why it's a best of 3 at the end of the day, honestly.
That's true. Also true. Yeah.
And I do think they both got the grab. So
yeah.
style points are intact.
All right, so you see working, skipping the refills there, so I'm assuming it isn't going to go for the Wily 2 skips, and probably would be wise to do so. I talked to Working in the last race. They did say that they do have the restream open, so Working knows, you know, where he's at right now, what the lead is, so I would expect them to just kind of try to coast through and eliminate any major risks. So
yeah. Working did also mention before the race we should probably avoid using his audio for now, so that's why we're going to be sticking with Endy's audio.
Nice quick kill there on the Yellow Devil there.
It almost feels unfair, just the complete collapse of the Yellow Devil.
Yeah, I think for some reason Yellow Devil's hitbox or iframes wear out a lot faster than any of the other bosses. So if there's a particular strat there, the streamline or the swag line kill, where if you alternate start and select at a certain rhythm, you can just melts his health away, as you saw what Working did there. So it's pretty cool. One of my favorite strats in the game. But we'll see Working. There is a way to skip these refights. Very difficult, very precise, very RNG as well, and also with the potential to soft lock yourself. So we're going to see Working opt out to skip that and just go through the refights as intended by Capcom. I'm curious to see.
We'll see if Endy goes for it, because
I was going to say
nothing to lose.
Yeah, so Endy's also known to have the race open. So Endy knows exactly where he is and where his position is in this race. So yeah, I'm curious to see. If he'll go for it. I didn't actually notice if he got the one of the tells is in that Wily 1 screen with the platforms and the spikes. There's 2 little weapon refills at the bottom of that screen. If you see a run and grab those, they're more likely than not going to attempt to do the Wily 2 skips. And actually, Endy didn't get the
yeah, the beam just bounced around the eye.
Yeah, this
I see some players use the vertical one rather than the wavy
horizontal
true. Beam.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's also a little riskier to get right in the Yellow Devil's face and risk taking body damage.
Yeah, and there's also, I believe there's 3 different spawn points of that eyeball, and it's random, so you don't really know. Sometimes if you get like that high or low one, your first beam might miss, and yeah, it can trip you up. So
no, yes, I think the first spawn though, it is always in the first column, and that's why the vertical line will work on the first hit. Right.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like Endy's gonna go for the skips here. Let's so we get to see that here. So yeah, these jumps are sub-pixel dependent. You have to push left and A shortly afterwards, and it's random whether or not you'll actually get the jump up. So that's another reason why this trick is very difficult. Yeah, just getting kind of tripped up here. This is not uncommon to see, honestly. Alright, gets the first wrap.
So that's good. That's good. Working having a great Mega Man clone fight, by the way, in Wily 2 there, while we're focusing on Endy's.
I know, yeah.
Working is going through Wily 3, crushing this stage as well, getting the long zip.
I believe, and I believe that, so that setup there, there's a way to, I guess like the normal strat would be to do the same thing you did the first time, but I think Endy actually came up with that strat where you actually fall into the room where you normally would soft lock, and he's come up with a way to get himself out of there. So really cool. And we see Working getting so we call them the dupes here. So basically, you need 7 of these blocks to quick kill this boss. They only give you 4. So the way around that is there's a little glitch where if you press the shoot button on the same frame that the block leaves the screen, you get what's called the dupe, where you duplicate one of the blocks without actually picking up another one. So you need to do that 3 times to beat that boss the fastest. So I think Working got 1 there.
I think so. I wasn't paying as close attention as I should either.
Yeah, I know it was at least 1. I saw at least 1. All right, and then so Working is actually the final stage of the run here.
Nope.
Yeah.
Got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
So see a cool little setup here. Nice.
There you go.
And then there's another little zip you can set up here. Let's see if it gets it. It looks pretty good to me. Yeah, there we go. You got to be careful on that one because if you zip too far, you can actually over zip and zip into the wall and soft lock yourself. So, actually, I don't know if it's a soft lock. I think you can die, but
yeah.
Well, just like that. I mean, working is coming up to the final boss here with taking a death and coming into this fight with full health. I mean, this fight is pretty much, it's a nice little. It's pretty easy compared to the like what you've done leading up to this point, but this will be the final fight. 2 phases using Fireman's shield's weapon here. Oh, actually, interesting. I don't know what to say.
I'm not sure what to do about this.
Just kind of showing off, I guess, how like kind of did he oh.
What even?
Sorry, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Alright, well, this is the final fight here on phase 2. So using Fireman's shield here to get into that hitbox, and that's gonna be time on the last hit. That's time.
What even?
To working there. This is stream time 1942, race time 1944. GG's to working there.
GG.
Endy there setting up the boss, the refight skip there too, just fine. Yeah, Endy reporting in the race time chat that Death and Gutsman stage cost him about 50 seconds. So
that matches what we were all seeing out here.
Yeah, I guess with where they're finished, let's see. That's about the difference. That's the difference of the times, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, working with the swag kill for sure, but
yeah,
on that. Because Endy also lost about 20 seconds in the Yellow Devil fight.
True.
Going to a second cycle.
Yeah. But GG's to Endy there. We got a stream time of 2027, race time of 2026. GG's to both runners. Yeah, I think other than that weird death there for Endy, I mean, strong run from both runners. And
I mean, yeah, Endy's run was still strong. It just had this one like weird thing that happened in it.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, yeah, that happens. We've all been like, it's not a tournament race if something weird doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do the classic. Like, I've never seen that before. I've never seen somebody die there before. It was very, very unusual. But yeah. So GG's to working. I'm finishing that first race. I'm going to.
All right, so KLM and I are going to work on getting the second race set up on our side. I'm going to see if I can get a little more information about this sync as well, because yes, we know they're about 17 seconds apart on the stream, and do apologize for that. But I've got the links out to their channels out there in chat. Definitely remember to follow the runners. Always follow the runners if you're enjoying the Speed Gaming show.
Absolutely.
Channel names spelled just like they are on the screen. In case you're watching this on the YouTubes later, twitch.tv/EndySWE and twitch.tv/working. That's working with an E, werking34. So definitely follow the runners, follow Speed Gaming, follow KLM and I if you really want to. And we will be right back with round 2 to see if Endy can keep things interesting and make the comeback. See you soon.
All right, thanks again for your patience. We're just finishing up here. Hopefully getting that delay from both runners all fixed up. But yeah, we're going to be starting race number 2 here in just a few seconds here.
They're both readied up. They're ready to go. I've done something to the syncing streams setting in here. I'm not sure I did the right thing, so
we shall see. This is
we will find out. But as mentioned, we are aware. We're working on it. I also just don't want to like drastically change things mid race and like really ruin things, you know?
Yeah, it's the pleasures of live TV, you know.
It's all right. Speed gaming, honestly, right? We love speed gaming. They've done a lot over the years to kind of really get this set up, and it's been wonderful. And they keep making their system better. And it's just a matter of learning what the changes are as we go. And I'm really hoping I didn't do it backwards and make it so working is now 34 seconds ahead instead of 17 seconds ahead.
Potentially.
If that's yeah, I see it. I see it.
Let's try to.
I'm going to go the other way with it. Hang on.
I just did it. Maybe it'll. We'll see.
You changed it from you took off the minus and hit enter again.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did because now they're 34 instead of 17 seconds apart.
We're gonna try to get that fixed as soon as we can here. Thanks.
All right. Did you make a change to it or should I make a change to it?
I did. I don't know if I have to. Oh, that.
You will find out soon, everybody. This is exactly why I didn't want to mess with it before, but it looks like it's adjusting.
Oh, there we go.
It's adjusting. Okay.
All right.
We're sorry, everybody. Thank you for putting up with us. And I'm serious. I love everything Speed Gaming does. Speed Gaming is always looking for more volunteers to help out with stuff like this. The settings. The tools back here are great. They're kind of these tools that are there for the people who are here volunteering all the time, and then you've got jokers like KLM and I that show up every now and again and try and do something. So let's see, did we do it?
Hey, there we go. All right. Hey, listen, this is my first day, so I think on my first day in the job, I think I'm doing all right. You know?
There you go.
We got all right. So we're back on track. Thanks for your patience for that. So we are race number 2, starting with Cutman is the first stage again. Going through Buster only here. Mostly vertical stage. We'll see a cool little screen wrap here, thanks to the NES. Thank you, NES. And then we'll see this big eye enemy is random too. It does a high or low jump. Not a huge deal. Sometimes, depending on how much damage you took through this stage, it might just alter the way you do this fight a little bit. As I mentioned in the first race, you do want to try to you take a couple damage boosts during the fight to speed it up slightly, but it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, Endy did get hit there though, and that has now put them coming to the gate at the same time.
There we go. Look at the sync.
Yeah, and like you said, working, tanking an extra hit early, looks like.
Yeah, working doing a slight little variation at the end of the fight there to so in this game you want to when the orb drops when you beat the robot master, and the sooner you can grab that orb, the quicker the stage finishes. So you want to try to grab that as close to the top of the screen as possible. Just like Mario 3, right? You want to grab the wand early or something, right? Or something. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, but Mega Man does not have the aid of a P-Wing to grab the wand at the top of the screen, so I mean, you know.
Anyways. Coming into Electman stage, which is truly the vertical stage of all vertical stages.
Yeah, like we were noticing the sync in race 1, so we didn't really talk about it so much. But yeah, like you said, this stage is so ridiculously vertical. Don't fall down at all. You like a screen scroll itself is like almost 2 seconds. And
yeah.
you start falling down, well, it's got to scroll down. That's 2 seconds. It's got to scroll back up. That's another 2 seconds. You've got to feel bad about yourself. That's another eternity. And then you've got to start climbing up the ladder again.
Yeah, so that trick there, that little corner jump there, I mentioned in the first race, it looks so much easier than it is. It's a very precise jump, and that one in particular, if you fall, like Mr. Cap was saying, you fall at least one screen, sometimes two, and you can see how slow it is to climb up these ladders. So it's
faster to reset and play through Cutman stage again.
Yeah, almost, yeah. All right, so we're coming into the early magnet beam grab trick here again. So again, you want to push, shoot and down on the same frame to clip into the ladder, get into the wall.
Okay, they made it. They made it.
Avoid the soft lock, which both runners did.
Do not go to the magnet beam jail.
Yeah. It's famously coined as Endy jail, because unfortunately I think was it an AGDQ race? I believe it was. Endy had gotten that soft lock. You know, which is you hate to see it, especially in like a one-off race on a big stage like that. So
right.
it's been since coined the Endy jail.
And that of course is why speedrunners go to Cutman first instead of Gutsman first.
Yeah.
Bat zip. Then we could also talk about the old school knowledge of Bomb Man first for this game.
Ooh.
Endy trying to select jump through it, not getting it. And this time opting to just climb the ladder. Oh, he went too fast!
That can happen very easily. I said this in the first race, but I honestly, for me personally, this is the hardest screen in the stage, even more so than the magnet beam grab.
Yeah, he did that in the first race with that select jump, because you get a little bit of iframes when Mega Man's in the beam animation.
That's actually really... I gotta try that myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you see... it's a little thing in Cutman stage. There's one screen with a lot of Susies later on where you see that same sort of technique. And that's, you know, because you don't know when the Susies are going to go. It's complete RNG, so you just do that. And it wastes a very slight amount of time, but you're guaranteed to not get hit. Endy applying it there. I mean, I feel... I mean... that death was avoidable. That's really the only way to put it.
Yeah.
Because that, I think, is the beam that goes off first, so you still have to wait for the next beam. You're not gaining any time by getting through it a little bit faster.
Yeah, I think it's just a positioning error there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. This is Iceman stage, so we didn't get to talk too much about it at the first race because they got through so fast. But yeah, there's this little...
Yeah, magnet beams.
Yeah, this zip you can set up over this big water. So Mega Man, I forget what the actual thing, but moves slower in the water. I don't know if it's... I forget the actual number.
It's noticeable.
Yeah. So using the magnet beam there to zip over that whole little pond section there saves a whole bunch of time. And again, all these magnet beam placements that you're seeing are all pixel perfect. Like, there is zero room for error here. And he's gonna get this nice long setup, it looks like. Yeah, nice. So yeah, zero room for error on any of these magnet beam placements. And then on the Iceman fight, as you saw on working screen, using the pause glitch there to make quick work of Iceman. And you have the two corridor zips there.
Yep. We haven't talked about it yet. I think it's a well-known thing in Mega Man 1 that when you push mash select, bosses get hit by Elec Beam a lot. What's really happening is when you push select and use that pause, enemy iframes continue to run out while the game is paused. And so by the time you unpause, you know, the iframes have now run out. The hitbox of the weapon is active again.
Yep.
Bada bing, bada boom. You win a lot of fights with a single Elec Beam that way.
Yeah. And then also with the pause button too, which I haven't really mentioned yet, is it's used to negate the damage knot. So when Mega Man takes damage, there's this kind of long like knockback you know, animation. So when you hit select twice, pause and unpause, when you take damage, it negates that whole animation, so it speeds up taking damage. So
the little beaming animation is shorter, plus you don't get knocked back as far.
Yep. Pretty routine first part of the stage, Fireman for working here.
Does accidentally grab the next ladder down.
Yeah, so if you're a pixel too high on your setup here, you actually, instead of grabbing this ladder off screen, you actually end up grabbing the ladder at the bottom of the screen, so you kind of just have to restart there. So again, I mentioned this just a bit ago, but all these magnet beam placements are all pixel perfect, zero room for error. If you're a pixel too high or a pixel too low, it's not going to work. So There you saw Endy do that little damage boost negate there that we were just talking about.
So Working had used ice through this corridor. Safer that way, take less damage that way, but Working also with that screen wrap problem there. Endy making a slight comeback here.
Yeah, picked up a little bit of time through this stage, for sure.
Especially because realistically, the Elikman death that he took in the corridor, I mean, any death is at this level, in the finals of a tournament with top runners, it's going to be tight.
Yep.
But that was probably one of the better deaths to take, though.
Yeah, for sure. Again, coming into Bomb Man stage. A couple zips in this stage to speed it up. We might see two different strats here again in this first half of the stage. Nope, actually both runners are going to use the Magnet Beam here to... So on the next screen up after this, on Working stage, there's a Sniper Joe enemy that, you know, we saw Endy in the first race use ice to just freeze him and walk through him, but here the faster way to do it is to use the Magnet Beam here to kind of just dance around him, avoid taking damage. It saves a menu basically, because if you're using ice, you have to menu to ice and then menu back to Magnet Beam. Working with a beautiful zip setup there. That zip is a little dangerous too because you have to make sure you're holding up at the end of that zip to grab the ladder at the end. Otherwise, you zip off the screen and you die. So, beautiful setups there for Working. Getting through the stage, no issues. Let's see how Endy's setup is here. A little low there. That one looks good. Yep, very nice.
It's so weird knowing that like Endy is on the checkpoint screen, Working's in the boss, but I mean realistically, just do the zip.
Yeah.
I think Working had the cleaner zip setup this time than Endy did, so Endy falling a little further behind again, but again, right, they're still in the same screen at the same time.
Yeah, Bomb Man can give you two different starting patterns here. He can either do a short hop as you saw at Endy's screen, or if you saw from Working, does a long hop to the other side of the room there. Not a significant time difference. You just have to be aware of where he's going and you know, set up your shot appropriately. But...
So we will see what happens here. Back to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, Working, taking a little damage there at the start of Guts. Man had to just adjust how they set up those beams there. But got that first zip there nicely. And got that second zip too. And it's funny when you get those zips there, it kind of glitches out these little minor nets there, and that turns them into a mess of code there. Which is a fun little thing.
I mean, going by Mega Man 11, I guess those have to be named Pickman. But at the same time, those are Hammer Brothers.
Yeah.
Those are Hammer Brothers.
All right, Endy.
I played Mario 1.
Working gets the corridors there, beautiful. I believe if I remember correctly, if you get both of those corridor zips, it saves about, it's a little over 2 seconds, I believe it is. So it's a pretty significant if you can get it.
It's a lot of walking, it's a lot of enemies that you don't have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's really good to get.
Endy gets them both as well.
Endy matching.
All right, so Working had a 12:03 orb grab, which is a really that's really good. Let's see how Endy does here in the fight. The Gutsman fight is a little tough because if he can, again, in 3 different patterns, either he stays where he is, he can jump forward, or he can jump back. So it's really particular about where you place your bomb. Sometimes if you don't get the proper bomb placement, you might have to use a second bomb to finish the fight. But it's about a 20-second difference, it looks like, right now, Working ahead at the moment. But, yeah, you know, as we saw in the first race, I mean, anything can happen here. Working, doing a little safer strat here. The faster way is just to switch to Magnet Beam and take damage from them, but those enemies do a lot of damage. So using ice to freeze them first is just a little safety there. Oh, I don't think, yeah, Working actually didn't get that zip setup. So it's gonna have to go the long way, and then these jumps can be pretty tricky. It makes them look easy. I can tell you from personal experience, those jumps are not as easy as Working made those look. So
no, full agree.
And he does get the zip, so he's going to make up a little bit of time here. About a screen difference now.
And that's what it's going to be. Can Working hold the lead against the relentless approach of Endy? Of course, Endy also, to throw some commentator jinxes out here, did get hit by both of the big eye robots that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
So a little low on health.
So as I mentioned in the first race, so you saw working actually went down and grabbed those magnet beam refills. I'm curious to see if they will actually go for the skips then.
Endy also grabbing them.
Yeah, and Endy's got to be careful here with the health, the amount of health here coming into
Endy
this fight.
cannot get hit.
Yeah, because not only do you have to avoid, you know, these pieces of the yellow devil coming into the screen, but once he's fully formed and the eyeball spawns, it does take a shot at you too, so you got to be careful to avoid that as well. Endy does a good job there. Oh no!
Two races in a row, that eyeball just finding the gap in the Elec beam, just like the Elec beam just literally despawning in the tile where the eye is. And this time, okay, didn't want to see cycle 3, but again, that's 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's a big time. Yeah. Yeah, so working is
working's
oh yeah, is going. Oh yeah, going for it. Ooh, this little I don't know what are these guys called? These little
cutters or something.
Giving him a little trouble. Yeah, he's got to wait till he despawns off the screen. Oh, gets some nice jumps there. Again, those are can be pretty RNG based. Those jumps there makes him look again. The thing about working has an amazing way of making the tough stuff in this game look super easy. Wow, that was pretty flawless skips from working there. We'll see how Endy does. So that first jump there in the Cutman room is you can get subpixeled when you go to jump and wrap around. Sometimes you fall right back into the room, which in that particular point doesn't matter. Then you're just going to do the refights as intended. Yeah, so this is a little Endy setup. I believe he came up with this. Oh no, he actually didn't get it. Oh no, he was too high on that. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh man. So unfortunately here on Endy's screen, he's out of magnet beams, and because the way the skips work, you know, Elecman didn't spawn in the room like he was supposed to. And so yeah, at this point, you know, this is it's a soft lock, so Endy's race is going to be over here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much just gonna do it. And working really just needs to stay out of trouble. And
I mean, just has to beat the game at this point. Yeah. But I mean, just for going for those skips in a race setting, you know, at this high of a level, it's almost mandatory. But just to do it as you know, as with the possibility of that happening, it really takes a lot of courage, I guess, if you will, and a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, Endy was kind of right there. We all know Endy's a veteran of this game, and I mean, you've got to give him credit, right? He knew the situation he was in. He went for it, and and I mean, yeah, that was it was what it was. That's great. So I mean, yeah, get the GGs out for Endy. Who's
absolutely
still going to come away with second place overall in this tournament, this field of, I think we had like 12 or 16, something in that range.
I believe it was 12 runners, yeah. And some really top runners too.
Yeah,
you know,
and like you said, right, they're basically a second or two apart on the leaderboard. They're number 2 and number 3 overall behind Cool Kid.
Yeah.
So I mean, good job. Working, knocking out Wily3, just gonna wrap things up. We'll see if anything else fun happens here.
Yeah, but, working. I mean, yeah. So working just still, it does have to finish the run in order to technically win the race.
Right.
You know, so yeah, you gotta let him finish here first. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get him there. It's fine. We'll see if he has any other surprises. He's gonna take the walk this time.
Yeah, we'll see. that first
see the army of gutsmen.
Left me speechless. I feel like I've seen everything in this game, and like that was just like left me completely speechless.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, right. You get to the finals of a tournament where you know everybody knows all the tricks. I mean, yeah, you've got to do what you can to come back, force your opponent to execute.
Yeah.
And,
Let's see. Yeah, just gonna kind
no,
of.
what? Excuse
Nice.
you, Bob, man.
Yeah, there is a potential soft lock in this stage too. So working's just gonna kind of just avoid any trouble just to make sure they finish. And yeah.
I mean, you know, this is something that the speedrun fans don't see very often. The Mega Man 1 refights.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Just not much to it, honestly. I mean, the first three all kind of going down to the select button at the end of the day, and then Gutsman's still here. Dr. Wily's chosen champion.
Yeah. All right, so coming into the final stretch here for working, just has to get through the Wily fights with no issues, and will be the winner of this race and of the tournament overall. Yeah, I mean, I think you know, as we talked about in the beginning of the race, where you know, you could have made an argument that Endy is the favorite coming in due to just the experience and having technically the faster time. But I guess with Working's more recent relevant experience of running the game, I think probably just it was the determining factor in this race. Oh, we're gonna see.
Oh, I preemptively hit done after phase 1. I'm sorry.
There you go. And that's going to be time for working. Finished with a stream time of 20:08. Race time of 20:10. GG's to working. GG's to Endy as well. Both really strong performances from both runners. Working just, you know, had the better day, and you know, is going to be our winner of this tournament. We'll see. We're going to see if we can get these guys in here to say a few words. So yeah, just give us 1 second on that. If anyone in chat has any questions for the runners while we bring them in, make sure you type them in, and we can certainly ask them there. One more time before we get the runners in here, make sure you please go follow both of these runners. They're as we've said over and over during this broadcast, both are awesome runners, top runners in any game that they pick up. Really entertaining. So just make sure you give them both a follow. Also, I forgot. I had this in my mind before we started, but I forgot to mention this. So you know, on the east coast of the United States, it's just about 3 p.m. here for Endy. I believe it's now just about 9 o'clock at night, and for working, I believe, if my math is correct, it's about 3 a.m. So both of these runners being able to perform at a high level at, like, you know, odd times of the night and I guess early morning in working cases, it is quite incredible as well. So
yeah, I know we have a large international community overall, and we span a lot of different time zones, and it is on some level amazing that there's the technological wonders that let us actually do this in the first place, that let us have friends across the world. It's wonderful. But I think they are both here.
I think we are. We are.
Yeah, it's a GG to both of you. That was really, really fun and fun to watch and call and entertaining. I guess I'll start with working. Congratulations on winning the race and the tournament overall. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling pretty happy overall with my performance. I don't think I did anything wrong, but except for the firemanship in race 2, that was a bit gnarly, but overall I'm happy, and I'm also happy that Endy is able to race with us. Although he did have like a few unfortunate deaths, but he still pulled on.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in just a second, because I was really, especially that in that first race. But what was that? Me and Mr. Cab were both kind of speechless in that first race when you like respawned Wily there or something. What was that? That was pretty fun.
That was just for fun. Since I saw I was ahead, I decided to just do that. But yeah, it was a bit disrespectful, you might say, but yeah, man, I just did that for fun since I was already ahead by so much in the first race.
Yeah, I think we were just more confused than anything else. We were like, I didn't think
I'd never seen that before, so I was like, what?
Yeah, we weren't really sure what was even happening, but yeah, I mean, I know, and yeah, I know you didn't need disrespect by it, and I'm sure Andy didn't take offense to it either, but
no offense taken. So no,
yeah,
no worries at all.
yeah, so yeah, that was really cool, and just amazingly consistent performance there. I mean, I feel like there were really no major mistakes in your own working. Every setup was really clean, and yeah, I mean, just incredible performance. So yeah, Indy, I know you had a couple unfortunate deaths in the run there. So what was yeah? Can you I guess walk us through that Gutsman death in the first race? Because I was actually really confused too. I was just I don't think I've ever seen a death there
Do
before.
I really have to? I mean, reimagine? That's the thing, though. No, just kidding. I mean, it was weird. I mean, I'm not sure I ever died there. I mean, so I mean, usually when you die in guts, it's either in the first section with the platforms or at the end because you jump too early when you're gonna do the screen transition and you get killed in the transition, right?
Right.
But that was not the case. For whatever reason, it was kind of the same thing as my last race against the Krebel Star when I died in ice. I placed a beam too high and then didn't jump on it. So I fell in a pit instead. It was weird though. I should have been able to adjust to it, but I don't know. That was a weird place to die. So I mean, after that, it was just. Yes, the thing I said before the race on my stream when I did a little warm up, I said that I only wish for that we have a couple of clean races or hopefully 3 sets of clean races without any major mishaps happening, and then I ended up having mishaps in both runs. So I'm a bit disappointed in my own performance, but I have no excuses. I mean, working played really good, so
yeah, absolutely.
And even then, right? Like I think we were saying, you're going for top level tricks and still like basically only making 2 mistakes, and you're right behind working the whole time. So it's really good. Nothing to be ashamed of at all.
Yeah, I did feel I did gain on him. I mean, I was stream sniping, so but I mean, it doesn't really matter if I gain on him a couple of seconds every stage when the deaths cost too much. So
right.
I mean, it's especially the guts death. That's like. I think I lost 50 seconds on the split.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really rough one. The other one wasn't that bad. I still had a slight hope in the second race when I died. I mean, my magnet beam climbs, I messed them up in both rounds today. That's really weird too. That's very unusual. So I died there. I mean, it's still like a 20-second death or something, not as costly. But I still felt I had a chance, especially when I saw him missing the Wily 1 zip.
Right.
So I was like, okay, and now I have a chance. But then my hope died again when I missed Yellow Devil.
Yeah, Yellow Devil was kind of mean to you in both races.
The thing is, you're supposed to press start in that fight, right? The thing is, I'm going for the. Please confirm this. Because I'm really confused now. I usually do the streamline kill. I mean, where you alternate start and select. But that was not working well for me. But you're usually supposed to, when you're doing it the regular way, you're only supposed to hit start, right? I mean, for the pauses in that fight. I'm so confused right now because I felt that I was doing the usual select thing, and then my mind was like, wait, do you really use select here, or do you use start? I'm pretty sure you use start. Okay,
no, I think it is select.
It is select. What the hell? I mean, I don't know what I did. I mean, everything. I mean, I don't know. I guess my Elec beam was placed poorly or something. I have no idea what happened.
It was weird. I mean, if I had to guess, like anything that would have tripped you up, that like the Yellow Devil thing would have been like not even on my radar. You know what I mean?
That was unfortunate. I mean, that's also one of those unusual things. All the major things went really well. I felt my setups were good. I mean, my stages were good overall. But I mean, those, and then there were those weird stuff happening. And I guess it comes down to No, I mean, not having played a lot lately, but it's still no excuse. I mean, I I lost fair and square, and the working did really well. So
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a question in chat for working. Working, what was Nis wants to know what was going through your mind when you decided to go for the Wily 2 skips in the second race, even though you had a pretty decent lead at that point.
Okay, so when I was, because the stream is lagging behind quite a bit, so when I finished Wily 1, I checked on the stream to see how much I might hit, and I wasn't too far behind, especially because I missed the Wily 1 zip.
Yeah.
And then I also know that in race 1, Andy went for Wily 2 skip, so I was thinking like, oh, Andy might try that again since he's only a bit behind and he might catch up. So yeah, I decided to just do it as well to try and match Andy's Wily 2. I ended up having a bit of difficulties because of one enemy that was harassing me.
Yeah, yeah. I think other than that enemy there, I forgive me, I forget what they call it, the little propeller guys. Otherwise, it was like one of the cleanest Wily 2 skips I've ever seen, honestly, and especially in like a setting like this was really really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and that's also true, right? We're talking about, are you watching the other opponent's actual stream, or are you watching the Speed Gaming stream? And sometimes the folks watching Speed Gaming just don't quite realize there's probably a 30-second delay getting to Speed Gaming itself. So like if you're just watching that and something happened within the last 10 seconds, you will not be aware. So that actually answers it right there. You just didn't know that Endy missed the Yellow Devil kill.
it makes perfect sense, because when I was watching before, I mean, I saw going into like the spike room in Wily 1, I was like standing on my first beam when he was at the end of the room, so I was like only I don't know, 5-6 seconds probably at that point. So yeah, I would have done the same most likely, because I would have known. I mean, you can save even with bad Wily 2 skips, you still go. You usually save time. I mean, not going
Right.
for him. So I mean, that was I think I would have done the same thing in his shoes. So I think that was the correct decision. And also there was really I only saw the second skip when the stream snipe, but that was insanely fast. So
yeah. Other than the enemy kind of causing little issues after the enemy was off the screen, it was yeah, like I said, it's one of the cleanest ones I've seen, especially in like a setting like this. So
yeah.
Well, again, this was a lot of fun, not only to participate in, but to call a few of these races. And just as a fan, like you guys are awesome and did really well. Do you any parting words? I guess any last words before we wrap it up for this tournament?
No, I guess I can start, and then working can have the last honors. Well, I basically just want to thank Speedgaming for hosting the tournament, and also all the guys that have been in the background doing commentary and technical stuff that I don't have to worry about. So I mean, it was a fun tournament. I would have liked to see a bit more participants, but because the interest seemed to be bigger than the actual participant list.
Yeah,
I noticed that too. But yep.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, not calling anyone out here, of course, but I mean, it was really, I mean, it was well handled, and I mean, I really appreciate all the effort being put behind it, despite the lack of interest. But I mean, it was fun, and it was fun to play Mega Man again. I have to say that. I mean, I haven't played this game. I think my PB is like 6 years old at this point. And I played. I mean, I played on and off. Just for like your relay or like marathon settings or stuff. But I mean, I had really. I mean, it was really fun to revisit the game. I remember now why I love the game so much. So I mean, it was a great experience again, and I have no regrets. And but I think working was the what's it called now?
The winner, the champion.
I mean, he was a champion. Yeah, he was a worthy champion this time.
Yeah.
But next time I will hopefully be able to prepare better, and hopefully we can have a rematch at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be fun. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that about the interest, because we held a vote in the Discord about which game that people would be most interested in. And Mega Man 2 did get the majority of the more votes, I believe, but Mega Man 1 had so many votes too that we decided to do both games because there was such a large interest. And then I think there was like 2 or 3 times the amount of votes than participants. But yeah, anyways, that's it.
But isn't the irony though? Sorry for interrupting, but isn't the irony that there was more people signed up for the actual Mega Man 1 tournament than the Mega Man 2 one initially, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, so you know,
Even
I have no comment. I have no comment as the person who posted the poll and set up the challenge. No comment. No comment.
yeah.
Oh,
I guess- all right, well, before I just switch over, I let Working have some last words. If this was fun for you, if this looked like a good time, we always have a good time here in the Mega Man speedrunning. Join us. You can go to megamanleaderboards.net, is where we host all our times. We have a dedicated Discord to learn all the classic Mega Man games. Everyone's welcoming, friendly, super helpful from top to bottom of the leaderboard. So just please give us a join if this is something that you'd be interested in. Yeah. With that being said, Working, last words before we call it for the day.
Once again, thank you to Speedgaming for hosting this and all the commentary who went and commented for all the matches as well as all the runners who participated. Really nice to see someone who plays a Mega Man 1 now, and especially I hope that this tournament sparks some interest in people grinding Mega Man 1, because we do need more Mega Man nowadays, I feel. But yeah, just happy that there's something hosted for Mega Man, and hopefully that will carry over to something that's bigger in the future.
Yeah, I would love to see. Yeah, because I remember we had a Mega Man 1 tournament. And it was like 2018 or something like that, and it was I think like twice as many people were in that one. So, yeah, hopefully this will spark some new interest for old and new runners alike. I know, like as Endy said, for myself, it was really fun to play this game again and to join up and to be involved. So, yeah, thanks for everyone for putting this together. Thank you, Mr. Cat, for joining me today. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, KLM, and like I said, as the person who set up the poll and the challenge, I feel like I've got to say something here at the end of both of these things, right? We did Mega Man 2, and that tournament kind of wrapped up. I've been so busy the last couple of weeks, I didn't even notice that happened. And part of that, I do want to call out Mellow Flows here as kind of the maybe the very visible right hand of this tournament happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing gets done with only one person in charge, and I should know because nothing gets done when I'm in charge. And Working. Mellow just kind of destroyed everything in the background in a good way, and I do have to thank him for that. And yeah, thanks always to Speedgaming, to everybody else in the background who helped out here. I agree with Endy a little bit about the poll, but I'm just happy that a lot of people showed up. I'm happy there was a lot of interest in things happening. I always love when there's a lot of enthusiasm about it, and I do recognize that this was a little last minute as far as the planning went. We occasionally get approached by Speedgaming, hey, you want to do a Mega Man tournament? It's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So we kind of got it together. Besides that, if you like your Mega Man, I think Mega Man 2 Rando happened, Mega Man X happened, so definitely keep following that. Come out to the leaderboard, come out to megamanleaderboards.net, and you can join the Discord there at megamanleaderboards.net, and we'll be happy to help anybody who's interested learn the games, play the games. We'll have a great time. It'll be fun. And one other thing about that poll, I think... No, I'm serious though, right? Because Mega Man 2, there was a lot of campaigning for Mega Man 2.
Yes.
Mega Man 1, for a variety of reasons, kind of got identified as a game where there was a lot of interest to have a tournament by a lot of people who run the game, and we said, I think we should do this anyway, and that's how we ended up doing both. I want to move on to that third place though. I think we're doing Mega Man 7 sometime soon. Ooh. So if you're watching this and you like Mega Man 7 hasn't had a tournament yet, and I think that was the surprise of the poll, that Mega Man 7 came in third. So I think we've got to do something about that soon.
I've always wanted an excuse to properly learn Mega Man 7, so yeah. This is my time.
And one other thing, kind of to Endy's point about seeing a lot of old runners, new runners, everything else, like there's so many things. Just like I see it most of the time in like Mario games where somebody comes out of nowhere and it's, where you haven't played this game in how long, and they jump right into the tournament and they are just like knocking out a lot of entrants and causing havoc until they get towards the end, where the people who are just dedicated to the game show up. So
yeah, even in this tournament, like just seeing like like Endy, who's been I've been a fan and just just been like an inspiration to me for so long, like since I started speedrunning back in 2016 or whatever it was. Seeing Endy come back to do this, and Cartina Cow as well has just been around, has been a strong runner for a very long time to come back and do this, and it just I always love seeing like these guys that that I've looked up to for a very long time to come back and like join these things. It's cool.
All right, I think I'm out of things to say outside of the normal wrap up.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit here and talk about Mega Man speedrunning for hours, but I guess we should probably maybe.
Yeah, let's get out of the way and give Speedgaming their channel back.
Yeah.
So if you're actually still watching this, especially on the YouTube replays, right? Don't forget to follow the runners. We can't have these ridiculous tournaments without them. Follow Endy, follow Working. I think their names are still on the screen. Go to their Twitch channels. It's there. Follow the Speedgaming family of networks. I think Speedgaming and then Speedgaming 2 through Speedgaming 6 all exists. Follow the international collection of channels. I think we've got Portuguese, Spanish, German, and I'm forgetting one. Did I say French? I didn't say French, did I? There's a lot of languages. You should follow them. We love speedrunners from everywhere. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and Speedgaming Live is coming up.
The actual live event I think is next week.
Yeah,
so,
live from Herndon, Virginia.
Herndon, Virginia.
Did I say that right? Herndon.
Herndon with an E there. But the old AGDQ hotel that we knew and loved for so many years, and GDQ kind of outgrew it, and that's a whole nother story. But it's a great hotel. And so I think that's the location. Don't quote me on that.
It's a good hotel.
I'm realizing I don't actually know where it is.
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're there and you have your ticket, I don't know if it's still available. I'm guessing you can still pitch in for some of the prize pools for the live event. Certainly, there's a lot of Zelda rando and Super Metroid rando there. As there always is, but there's a lot more going on there too. Besides those, so no matter what flavor of game you want, definitely watch in, definitely support that, because honestly, if we gotta just support the community events and keep them going. So I'm gonna get back to reminiscing and rambling again. So I'm just gonna say, have a good time of day, everybody. Thanks for watching the Mega Man tournament, and we will see you next time. Keep up the fight for everlasting peace, and get out of here. See ya.
Thank you. See you.